Oh yeah. Good morning, Jeff. Oh, you actually dressed up. I'm so glad. I actually dressed up too. Yeah. So, because I know Jeff, like always special. Like, he's a very, very loving person, and yeah, our respected, and almost like a father level of the leader to all of us. And you remember Jennifer, right? Jennifer, and he asked Jennifer Wu. She's one of our founding leaders, and one time she asked Jeff like. She told us everyone about this story about she asked Jeff about like, I'm not good at sales, I'm not good at talking, and how can I be successful? And Jeff told her like, as long as you don't quit. So that gave like Jennifer a lot of confidence, and eventually it turned out our team like grow so much. I representing our team leaders, I wanted to say thank you, and thank you for helping us. And you probably didn't even know you and a lot of other leaders helped us a lot when we first started business, like around like 2008, 2009. Yeah. So Jeff, now we're so excited. So yeah, can you share some insider information? I know like you went to the core leader meeting, with the company executives. So now can you like share like whatever you can share? Let us know like what is going on and why you guys are so excited. All this like Craig Bryson, like all of you guys are so excited because you must know something exciting. And yeah, can you share with us?
Sure. Hey, and I appreciate you inviting me to be here. And I do remember talking to you guys, Team Elite University afterwards, I was getting conversations with people. And, various people come up that are just new, some that are leaders, and they ask questions. And I feel a responsibility because I've been doing this about 35 years. And I feel like, look, I've done well with it, but that's more than just about me. I need to be there to be able to encourage and kind of show people the way so that they in turn can pass that on to others. And that's kind of the responsibility that I see. And so if I said anything to you guys along the way that helped you, I am glad. And it's good to be here. And what I figured I'd do, June, is just kind of tell a little bit about my story. It'll dovetail into what's going on right now, because a lot of what I've experienced is actually being revisited right now. And, I got invited to this business, 35 years ago. A lot of you guys don't know Craig Tillotson, but Craig Tillotson, Craig Bryson, and Claire McDermott are the founding distributors for Nu Skin. And actually, my wife, Liz, used to be Claire McDermott's executive assistant. So in other words, back when they started, the company was a few years old, she became the assistant. She started to see a lot of things going on back then. Now, it was interesting because I wasn't involved in Nu Skin. I was doing real estate with a guy named Nathan Ricks. Okay, some of you guys know Nathan. And I remember Liz would tell me things she saw, and I just kind of discounted it like, oh yeah, whatever. Because to me, it looked like Nu Skin was more of a girl's thing, right? And Nathan thought this thing. Craig Tillotson came to us one day and he said, look, you guys need to join us. And it's like, we're not going to do Nu Skin. It's like, you kidding me? You guys do these facelifts on people on the ground. It's like, we're not going to do Nu Skin. And Craig kind of cut us off and he said, hey, you don't understand. He said, people love these products. At the grassroots level, they're being sucked into the market. You guys are promoters, and we need you to come with us and lay the foundation for what's going to take place. And so we saw it as an opportunity to come in and kind of bring some firepower to it. But I remember thinking back then, man, how's that going to happen? Because this was in the Great Recession in the 80s. And I don't know, those of you on this call, if you remember that, but back in the 80s, the economy in the United States was the worst since the Great Depression of the 30s. And I remember distinctly wondering what's going to happen, to myself and other people, because it was pretty negative out there. And so all of a sudden the lights came on and it's like, okay, look, if it's dark outside, sell light. If there's no vision, show them the vision. And so we just started talking to people about what their life could be like. And we'd say something to the effect of, we know times have been very difficult. We know it's been hard, but what if you joined us and laid the foundation for this company? What could your life look like in 2 years? And people came, and they came in droves. Some of the best people I've ever seen joined us. And it was because the environment had cut off opportunity for a lot of people. And so we cut the business heart out of the entrepreneurial heart out of the market. Some of the best people I've ever seen came on board, and the foundation for what you know Nu Skin to be was laid at that time with some very strong people. In fact, there was a time that in Nu Skin, 40% of all the people in the field had advanced degrees from college. Okay, so we're different. Okay, we're a different type of operation. People that have laid the foundation for this company could actually run this company. Many of them did run companies before they came here. And so you look at it, you say, well, what makes Nu Skin so special? It's the leadership that is in the field. Well, roll the clock ahead several years. And, you know, I focused for 2 years straight, didn't come up for air, laid a foundation in business that changed my life. As I came for air in 2 years, I had people way better than me in the business. Well, as time went on, Nu Skin would grow around the world, and we had successes in Japan and other places. And I remember distinctly, and this story will tie into what's happening right now. I remember them saying about 9 months before they were going into the country of Thailand, that they're going into Thailand. Now, I am not Thai. I have no Thai roots. I don't speak the language. I never knew a Thai person. Okay. And so I remember thinking, okay, Thailand. So I started reading up on it. I thought, this is going to be a good market. And so myself and 4 friends, I told them, let's go after Thailand. And they're like, well, go after Thailand? How do you go after Thailand? What do we do? And I said, I don't know. Go to a Thai restaurant, grab a Thai guy, grab anything with Thailand, and start asking them who they know. And that's what we did. One thing led to another, and, you know, leapfrogged into LA, and we started to find a lot of Thai people in LA. And before you knew it, they wanted to join us. Some started qualifying on the products we had here in the States. And the story was really simple. We're going into the country of Thailand, okay? And we're looking for people that want to dream big, that want to be part of that rollout. We've been successful everywhere we've gone. The people that become the foundation of Thailand will have unbelievable success. We don't know who they would be. We hope that it's you. And they came and they joined us. See, what we were looking for, if you look out there at the population, the top 15% are the innovators and early adopters. Those are the people that will move on any business opportunity, any technology, any new introduction to society. They're kind of the ones that pioneer it. 85% of the marketplace is the early majority, late majority, and the laggards. They make up the majority of any operation, any opportunity, or any product introduction. Okay, and so we were looking for that 15%. And, you know, hey, some people came and said, hey, well, I'll look at it when we open. Or, hey, I need to see the product first. Or what kind of products will be there first? All these questions like, okay, look, we'll get to you later. But those that said, okay, look, I see it. I see an opportunity. I'm going to take action. Those are the people we ran with. We didn't get hung up on the people that wouldn't move. We went with the ones that did. Long story short, 9 months later, they opened the market. Now, bear in mind, we had some people we signed up here in the States that had already become blue diamonds by the time it opened. And so we're thinking, okay, we got some stuff going on. I don't know how much we've got because we don't know what's going on internally in the country. We couldn't travel there. So I had to make an executive decision. I rented the largest hotel in Bangkok, Thailand. Okay, the Emerald Hotel, I still remember, 2,500 seats in the ballroom. Okay, and so we thought, okay, here's what we're going to do. We'll do a morning session and an afternoon session, and we'll see what happens. Well, that first session, 2,500 people showed up. And me and my 4 friends trained them, okay? The afternoon session, 2,500 more different people showed up. So that first day in Thailand, me and my 4 friends, 5 of us trained 5,000 people. Okay. Now it's interesting because I was at the hotel in between sessions and looked in various rooms.
Hold on,
Okay.
let me. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. There were other leaders in these rooms. One room was a top earner from the US that made great money. He had 6 people in the room. Next room, I went down the hall, another successful team elite. They had 12 people in the room. They looked in our room. They saw 2,500 people, 5,000 total. It was over. All right. Now, what do I mean by it was over? Well, you know what? We had taught people what you need to move before the masses do. And that's what they did. They responded. And so that taught me one thing. Okay. You got to move when your gut tells you to move. Okay. Now, by the end of the month, okay, so about a little over 3 weeks, that 5,000 turned into 30,000 distributors. Now, what do you think happens when 30,000 people order product? It's an explosion. Now, some people said things like, "Oh, they cheated. Oh, you guys had an advantage. You guys had something." It's none of that. Okay, we just took a concerted effort and we focused and we said we're going to pre-position on an inevitable opportunity before everyone moves, before the 85%ers come into the mix, and we're going to lay a foundation with faith and attitude and focus before everyone decides they're going to move on it. And that's what we did. Now, today, some of those Thai leaders are the top people in this company, okay? And they were born before the market started, okay? So what was the lesson there? Move before the masses do. Okay, well, move forward to modern day. I don't think any one of us on this call could have predicted what happened the last 3 years around the world. I mean, if I came to you, June, 5 years ago and said, "Hey, look, I've got an idea for this horror novel I'm going to write. And in this horror story, there's this virus that gets unleashed into the world. People get sick. Some people die. Governments will react strongly. They'll lock people up. They'll sequester them. Some businesses will be shut down. Some will be deemed, valuable. Others will be deemed not. And it's going to create chaos for everyone in the world. And for the first time in the history of our lifetimes, the entire world will be uncertain about their future. And to follow up on that, there's going to be a recession that'll go on for a few years after that'll steal the souls of everyone around the world. Now, if I came to you with that horror story, you'd have thought that I had something loose in my brain. But you know what? That's exactly what's happened. And that's exactly where we sit right now. Now, you look at that and you say, well, what about Nu Skin? Well, I can tell you, during COVID, some very creative entrepreneurial women in our organizations started to sell through social media just some lower end items that hook people with those that bring them in. People love the product, then that upgrade them to leadership status and start building. And over the course of the last 3 or 4 years, we've attracted some of the strongest leaders we've seen, okay? We wouldn't have found them any other way. Okay, so during COVID, we actually grew. Now, you know what I learned from that 3 or 4 year window right there? You can't beat us. We're unconquerable. We've proven that we can create a touchless business. We don't have to be in the same room. We don't have to breathe the same air. We can zoom in. We can sell product and drop ship it. We can build organizations all around the globe right from our phones. Okay, and so it created an environment and enhanced it even more than what it was before. And so we grew. Now, here's the thing you need to understand. The network marketing industry, by and large, did not grow. Okay, there's several companies that are reeling right now. Okay, and that kind of sets up where we are at this moment. Now, Nu Skin wasn't resting, okay, during COVID. It would seem the whole world shut down, right? These guys were thinking. These guys were planning. And about 3 years ago, I'm here locally, okay? I'm a team elite. I've got good relations with most of the leaders around the world. Well, Craig Bryson's local here too. He's the founding distributor for this company, okay? He and Craig Tillotson and Clara McDermott are the only ones sponsored directly to the company itself. So everyone in the world falls underneath Craig Bryson. And he was making a similar effort. And I said, Craig, why don't you and I just team up? We'll join forces, because between the two of us, we pretty much have a reach around the globe with most of the leaders. Let's go in. And we did. And we started working and talking and trying to configure what direction are you guys going? Where do you see the future? How do you navigate this? What's the best option here? And in the course of that, this brainchild that we're now going to talk about with DNA and AI and information and e-commerce and all of that started to spew out of Craig's head. And he started to lay out to him what was happening with AI, and what was happening with DNA, and what was happening with information and the value of it, and how it become the currency of the future, and e-commerce and all those things. And I remember, Ryan Napierski, he's a lot like Craig. They're very cerebral type people. I mean, these guys read books for fun. I'll read, but I can't read that much. I got to be out in the mountains. I got to be doing other things. These guys are intellectual type thinkers, right? And so they're connecting, and there sits Steve Hatchett. And some of you don't know Steve, but Steve corporately has changed our company. New Skin brought him on board, and they brought him on board because they bought his manufacturing facilities several years ago. Okay, he's an entrepreneur, and he's self-made. And Steve's not here for the paycheck. Steve's here because he wants to see this company successful, because what he's built over time with his manufacturing facilities is now part of this company. And there's Steve, and he's a product wizard. I remember he's writing stuff down. He's asking questions. You can see his brain thinking. I remember thinking, man, I hope this is sinking in. And we'd leave, and I'd say to Craig, what do you think? And he says, I think they're listening. And we'd have subsequent meetings. They wouldn't share a lot. They'd ask us questions and our opinions and various things. And I remember thinking, man, they're kind of tight-lipped, Craig. And he says, well, they're tight-lipped. This is a public company. They can't leak information, really, okay, because they know we'll go tell people, right? And so we just kept working, kept talking. Well, long story short, here a few months ago, you guys heard about a $500 million investment, okay, for technological upgrade and AI capability. Prior to that, New Skin took their computing to the cloud, which is a big expense and it's brutal. They did that. Most companies haven't, right? That's the first step. And they made this investment. They made the announcement. And I'm thinking, my gosh, they've been listening, right? They've heard what we've said. Then about a month and a half ago, I get invited to go to the company. They want to talk to me. And they invite Craig. Well, I get there. Craig's gotten there about 5 minutes early, and I walk in, and he's got this little grin on his face, right? And I sit down, and they hand me this little box, and it's a DNA collection kit. And I look at it immediately. The connection goes off in my head. I look over at Craig, and I said, this is happening. And he says, yeah, it is happening. And so I looked at that, and I thought, oh, my gosh, how long have you guys had this? Well, close to 3 years. And I'm like, 3 years? And they're like, yeah, we're not ready to turn this on yet. Okay, we've brought people, we have not internally, we've hired the best from around the world. They're here, they're writing the algorithms, they're doing all the technological upgrade, they're doing everything they need to do so that we can lead out there and the functionality will be what it needs to be. And I'm thinking, you guys, we've got to leak this right now. And they're looking at me, and Ryan and Steve are like, no, we can't leak it. It's not ready to go yet. I'm like, no, you don't understand. This is the best time. They're like, what are you talking about? And I said, think Thailand, pre-market, ground floor, okay? We're positioning for an inevitable opening. You guys have spent the money, right? You guys are investing the money, right? You guys are writing the algorithms, right? You guys have brought the best guys in, right? You guys have made the investment. We're on the cloud. We're everywhere we need to be, right? You're going to change the way that we look in the industry, right? To separate us from everybody else in the industry, because the network marketing industry has gotten stale. Everyone's got the same deal going on. And a lot of people ran headlong, into the social media thing, and they don't have the foundational, strength we do in leadership, and they're on their heels right now. See, there's a lot of companies that are going to fail. And Ryan looked at me and says, you know what, we're in a position right now where we can move and dominate. And I'm like, okay, then we need to leak this now, because the economy is going into a tailspin. Those companies are faltering. We're in a position right now to close it all out. And we need to get all of our ducks lined up and have an army in place by the time you guys turn this on. They said, okay, you guys leak it, but you're under non-disclosure, so you can't talk about this and this and this and this. We won't talk about that. We'll talk about the things that have been out there, like AI and DNA and information collection and e-commerce and all those things that have already been talking points out in the market, but we just couldn't get our arms around because there was nothing, finite or nothing concrete to grab onto. But the fact that you guys are doing this, and 12 to 18 months from now, you're going to turn it on. And again, this is liquid, guys. As I'm telling you this right now, it's liquid. Okay, it's fluid. kind of like Thailand, right? When we were positioning, things kind of dovetailed and they changed along the way. And we had to move with it. That's why you're an innovator and an early adopter. See, the structured people have difficulty with that. I need to have structure. I need to have this, this, and this, right? All the lights need to be green for me to move. I'm so conservative that I can't move. Well, those that are innovators and early adopters, those that'll move with vision, those that can see the bigger picture before the rest, they'll move fluidly. And that's where we sit right now. And we're moving. So about 2 weeks ago, all right, after getting permission from those guys, the corporate guys, we start to talk a little bit about it, start to leak it out. And I remember Tracy Palo said, hey, Jeff, will you do a Zoom for me? I have some people, I want to hear this story. You've been telling it. And I said, can I bring some of my guys? She's like, yeah, you can bring your guys. And so we're thinking 50 to 100 people on a Zoom call just to kind of get things rolling. Well, the thing blows up. All 1,000 lines are filled up. 500 people got shut out. They couldn't get in. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what's happening here? So I did one the next night, blew that one out. Long story short, 4 meetings that first week, blew them all out. We did another meeting with Craig. The next week, the thing was filled up. And I'm thinking, what is going on here? Well, what's going on here is just leaking these aspects of the story, not the full story yet, but just aspects, has got so much traction because the environment around the market, as this world goes into a recession, coming off a post-COVID environment. What I want you guys to understand, as bad as the last 3 years have been, that's good for us. You know why? We're counterintuitive. And what that means is what's been bad for the masses is good for us. You know why? Because when opportunity has been cut off to the majority, they start to get creative and start to look for other opportunities they may not have considered. I mean, I look back historically at my business the last 35 years. Every time there's pressure put on here in the United States by an administration in the government where, you know, it creates less opportunity, we grow. So when times are tougher for people, we grow. Well, I'm here to tell you, the last 3 years have been rough, but you know what the next 3 are going to be like? Electric. You're going to see us grow like crazy. And my prediction here is in 2023, you're going to see us double the size of this company. How do I know that? Because I saw us go from 40 million to 500 million in 20 months when I first started back in the 80s. And there was no one in place. We had to recruit and build the organizations. We've got 1 million distributors around the world right now, you guys. Think about that. As this information hits their ears and they start to talk about it, you're going to see us accelerate like crazy. All right. These videos, okay, that have been made of the Zooms, they're banging around the world right now. I've personally started recruiting 50 new people myself. 50 new people myself. Now, why would I do that? Including my own son. All right. My son's a policeman. And I just said to him, Jeff, there's an opportunity here for you to change your life. And if you decide you want to do it, I'm jumping in the trenches with you and we'll build an army. We'll build an army that'll change your life. Look, I don't need to make money off my son, but I'll get involved if I can change his life. Look, what I'm here to tell you is the future is so bright. 2023 is just the beginning. And DNA is just the tip of the iceberg. As I talk about the DNA swab, the company guy, Steve Hatch, is like, look, that's just the tip of the iceberg, Jeff. There's so much here. I'm like, I know, but you won't let me talk about all of it. So I've got to talk about what I can. Okay, now let me just kind of shift to the bigger picture here for a minute. What's going to happen in the next 12 to 18 months? Could be a little longer, could be a little shorter. Okay, you got to be fluid on this, right? As they're writing those algorithms, as they're building out that back office, as they're creating the AI technology that's going to be able to kind of blow this thing up. We're out there building right now. We're building with the dream. We're building with the pre-positioning ground floor window of an inevitability of what's going to happen. And the goal here is to put a foundation in place, just like we did in Thailand, before the wave happens. Because as you have that foundation in place and the wave hits it, it blows it up. That's how you go from 5 to 5,000 to 30,000 to millions of volume, right? I've already done it, but it'll be bigger here. We're talking billions of dollars of volume. All right. And it's going to be created with new people. I can tell you personally, the people I've recruited in the last 2 weeks are some of the best I've ever seen. And they would never do new skin 3 or 4 years ago. Would never do it. They're entrepreneurs. And you know what? There's many of you on this phone call that are entrepreneurs. And if you don't do this, what are you going to do? Because the definition of any entrepreneur is you're going to spend your time where you can get the best return on the time you invest. And you know what? As I talk with guys I'm recruiting, I say, you show me anywhere in the next 18 months you can get a return on your time investment as you can here. I want to hear about it. Crickets. There's nothing. Opportunity has been dashed for most of the people around the globe, and they're running our direction because they see light at the end of the tunnel. Now, here's the thing I want you guys to understand. We're building right now. We've got a kit you can sponsor with the Me+2, okay? U+2 is what it's called, okay? And so people can start building right now. But let's flash forward 12 to 18 months. Let's say that I'm talking to June, all right? And I say, hey, June, we have the capability to do an assessment on your genetics, okay? And it's not just for your health, but your cognitive and everything that you are. And we can give you a snapshot of it, okay? And June's not going to doubt that because she knows DNA is real. 23andMe and Ancestry, those guys have proven that it works, right? They can tell you where you came from, where your ancestry is from, all that stuff. It's legitimate, okay? They were able to catalog the entire genome, a handful of years ago. So prior to that, you couldn't even do this. But technological upgrade has created the opportunity we sit on today. We now know we can do that. And so what I'll say to her at that point in time is, hey, you need to get that assessment. And everyone wants the assessment. Why wouldn't they want the assessment? Okay, and so she gets that assessment. Now, here's what's going to happen. Okay, when we turn that on in 12 to 18 months, the business is so simple. What I may have done at that point is just through my phone, sent her a link to a video. She's watched a video, one of these Zooms. She sees the talking points. She sees where it's at. All right, hey, I'm excited about this. I want to get that assessment. I send her a link to the Vera app. Okay, now Vera is just in the initial stages right now. It will become the portal to the company. And so as I send her that app, just with the link, she goes in, follows the prompts, orders the assessment. As the assessment comes back, okay, after she's got the DNA submitted, right, it comes back directly to her from Nu Skin with privacy issues. They're writing all this right now. They're navigating the legalities as we speak. It comes right to her, and she looks at it. And what I want you guys to think about is the company will create what we call a digital twin or an avatar. And this digital twin or avatar represents what we would say is the perfect June. Everything her genetics dictate she can be, and this is who she is. Let's say this is June right here. She's not quite where she needs to be here. And that analysis comes back and it shows the deficits that she might have, physically, health-wise. And the AI component kicks in and says, hey, June, we've got this product and that product and this product and that product to help fill in some of these gaps to elevate you to become the avatar or the digital twin that we've created technologically for you. But think about that for a minute. We're gathering her DNA. Now, in the future, I can tell you, they've told me we'll have ability to, screen the lymph system. We have a non-invasive way to check the gut. There's all kinds of testing we can do to help facilitate more and more of this, right? And so we've got her information. Her goal is to become this digital twin. And so AI is what's selling her the product. So let's say AI says to her, hey, you need new biome, you need youth, you need collagen. And she's like, I don't know what these products are. It helps to upgrade her and educate her, but she might call me and say, hey, Jeff, have you ever used these products? Oh, I've used all these. Here's the benefits I've had. So I become more of a facilitator for her, right? And so she orders those products, puts them on auto ship, and so it replenishes every month, and we're off to the races. If she decides she wants to opt in as a distributor, she does that, and we start introducing people to the system. Now, what did I do? I send her a video through my phone. I send her a link. And that's it. The company did the assessment, AI upsold the products, and it started the flow. And she says, I want to do this. And maybe for training, I send her to my Facebook site where she can see the duplication process, how the comp plan works, and away we go. Now think about that for a minute. What I just described to you doesn't exist. It hasn't existed because technology hasn't brought it to the forefront until now. That's what the business will look like in 12 to 18 months. It's fast. This will blow up so fast it'll make your head spin. But we're not waiting now. I'm not going to wait 12 to 18 months to bring June into the business. I'm going to do it right now. Why? Because we're going to lay a foundation of contacts and try to get her to Blue Diamond or Team Elite before we turn it on. Why? Because if that foundation's in place, as you know, they turn it on, millions of assessments will flow into the market almost overnight. All right. And with those comes the backfill of those products. Now, here's something I want to add to this. And I got permission just the other day to kind of leak this. You all know that e-commerce is real. Okay. I remember a few years ago, we were all talking about the possibility of e-commerce. And, you know, it was like, well, maybe. Well, then Amazon all of a sudden owns the world. Now, if you don't believe me, go walk through any mall. Okay. And you wonder what happened. What happened to retail sales? Amazon stole it. All right. That's why Bezos is one of the richest people on the planet. And it's going to continue to grow. And it enhanced itself even more during COVID, right? Why? Because people were locked up. Okay. And so they turned more to the internet, and now it's become a mainstay, and brick and mortar's gone. It will never go back to where it was. Well, do you think we've been sitting on our hands with this? Here's the deal. As we get people into the system with the assessment, and we start to backfill with our products, and we start to elevate their health, and they start to feel better and start to get a testimony about the product, and they get involved with more and more people, and the customer base builds and the distributor base builds. See, then we've got partnerships. We've got consumer goods, I'll call them. I'm picking my words here because I got to be careful how I say this because I don't want to violate my non-disclosure. But if you can imagine Amazon, and rather than, and you've been on Amazon, you know, you can buy everything there, right? Imagine for a minute that we have 6,000 consumer goods, name brand goods, that we can incorporate into your business at the click of a button as you go through Vera, and you can purchase stuff much like you would on Amazon, except you're going right through your link, and you're going to get commissioned on all of that. Can you imagine what's going to happen as we capture dollars outside of our product purview? Guys, I'm here to tell you, this is so big, it's hard to wrap your mind around. And in fact, what did I just say to you? You lay a foundation, in comes the assessments, AI backfills with product sale. You become kind of a consultant. And then what happens is the thing ramps up as the e-commerce segment kicks in, opening the door to consumer goods that they're already buying anyway, and we capture those dollars and it's commissioned. How big is this going to be? Sky's the limit. Think about it for a minute. How big can it be? The only limitation is what's right here and what you're willing to do about it. Now, I can't sleep anymore. And people are saying, why not? I mean, you've been ultra successful in this business. You've been doing it for 35 years. Why can't you sleep? I'm back in the trenches. You know why? Because I can see the end zone. I can smell it. I can see where we're at. And the information I've been given, I'm trying to share that with you so you understand what I know. This is going to be the biggest opportunity you'll ever see. And I can say this to you, you will never see this again. You know how I know that? Because you can't recreate the last 3 years. You can't. You can't recreate what's happened in the world the last 3 years. And that's feeding this. Now, I want you to know the upside prosperity is going to be much larger than what's happened heretofore. We're sitting in the best spot we possibly can be in. And people are running our way already. Just in a couple of weeks, we've leaked this. We've got blown out phone lines. In fact, the company's saying, oh my gosh, we're getting calls all through here. What's going on? Like, we haven't even got started yet. You guys need to brace yourself and you need to have the products in-house so that we can sell them, because we're going to blow this up. You know what? My prediction, I think we go from 2.5 billion to 5 billion in 2023. We do that, 10 billion is going to happen the next year. And guess what? About half of all that revenue is paid out to people like you and I in the network as we lay that foundation. That's basically the commission split. For every dollar that comes in, almost half of it's paid back out. So what does that mean? You don't have any time to waste. This is the first working day of 2023. You've made a good decision to be on this call. Now, what are you going to do with it? Like I said before, if you don't do this to the maximum, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Any of you out there, if you got a bigger opportunity, what I've just described to you, I want to hear about it. Not out there. I know everything that moves out there. We're in a position right now to elevate this company to a place that only people can dream about. And you need to take action right now. And what am I doing? Well, you know what? I'm like anybody else. I'm just sending out videos of the Zooms that we've done. And I'm the guy on the video. I don't sit and talk to someone. I say, man, you won't believe what's happening. I don't know if this is for you or not, but this is the biggest thing I've ever seen. Check this out and we'll talk. Boom. I send them the video. It lays it out. Then we get on the phone and we fill in the gaps. And they're either ready to go or they're not. If they're not, I put them on the back burner. I move forward with the ones that are. But I've only had a couple of people hesitate. Everyone else is jumping in. Why? Because they can see it. They know it. They understand where we're at. That $500 million investment has put so much distance between us and everyone else that we're in the driver's seat. So that's where we sit. Now, I don't know, June, if that's what you wanted to see on this call, but I'm telling you what, that's the story I'm telling. And people are coming here in droves. We're in a spot right now. And I'm honestly, when I say this, in 35 years, I've never seen an opportunity that's this electric with this much upside. And the good news is it's not turned on yet. That means if you're an innovator, an early adopter, this is the market for you. If this isn't resonating with you, trust me, in a year and a half, the business will be as viable and there'll be opportunity there. But here's kind of the bottom line, and I'll close with this. I've got money invested right now in a company, okay? And this company is in the pre-market, okay? It's not in the public market yet where the stock's available. It's a friends and family deal. And I heard the story, I invested the money, okay? I'm an innovator, I'm an early adopter. Okay, once that evaluation of that company gets to a certain point, they're going to go public. And when they go public, then the early majority, late majority, and the laggards will buy that stock in the public market. But the innovators and early adopters have bought it in the pre-market. Who do you think makes the money? There's opportunity for the early majority, late majority, and the laggards, but guess who makes the money? The innovators and early adopters. This is no different. The difference here is we're not asking for your money. We're asking for your commitment and energy. All right. And if you see this, you won't sleep tonight. And if you're not sleeping tonight, you better do something about it. I am. I'm taking action. I'm telling you what, I'm not coming up for air for 18 months because I know this for a fact. And then June, I'll turn this back over to you. The next 18 months, you can't get a return on your time investment as you can like that next 18 months. If I were to take 18 months and do it in 2 years, so in 2 years, I invest 18 months of time and energy, the return will not be the same. It can't be, because in this pre-market, you're going to get a movement that see a vision, and they're going to bring a bunch of people with them. That's where we sit right now. So I'm excited. I'm excited.
Oh my gosh, Jeff, yeah. This is not my first time hearing about your DNA AI story, but this is the most comprehensive and the insider story I ever heard from you. So I got like so much details. I'm like thinking about how I can like translate into Chinese to come up with a Chinese story and to share more with our Chinese distributors and also our Chinese market, because this is something like huge. And I just want to thank you so much, because when I first asked Jeff about like what time between January 2nd and January 8th, like the first week, and Jeff's like, how about January 2nd? I was like, oh, good, the way to go, because it looks like he is not resting at all. You know, like he is literally, I can tell he's not resting at all, because a lot of people say, oh, January 2nd, no, you know, we're not back to work until January 3rd. And so we can see the opportunity, because the veteran leaders, they know they can recognize opportunity, and they definitely know. And you know, that Jeff and his insider information is really something like they know. We know that the gap of information creates their money, right? So people who know the information early, actually you get money, like get more money. It's like everywhere. So everyone on the call, we're so lucky, so grateful Jeff can share with us the information early. So we almost like got the insider information of stock trading or something, right? So this is something I'm so excited too. And originally some people, they asked me, say, when the product gonna come out, like, and so what's the detail? They asked me. I said I don't know. And so I guess like if we are innovators, because we are innovators, right? So if you want to capture the early market, to capture most of the market, we got to understand it's not certain yet. And there's up and down. There's some like detailed, a lot of things like company needs to work out, algorithm, website, everything. But for sure, this is coming. This thing is coming, and this is real. This is coming, and so it's up to us how we can recognize opportunity, how we can get prepared. Yeah. So thank you so much. I know there could be, everyone's so excited about that, and we record it.